Hi there, Periscopers. This is William. I'm at Westwood Pool in Norman, Oklahoma. I'm on my iPhone 10. Hope this sound comes through and the video comes through good. The picture looks really good. Um, uh, I'll be taking a ride home, talking about the infrastructure of Norman and what we're doing here, and money creation, how all the things that we're doing here could be done with money that we don't have to tax from anybody or borrow from anybody. So I'll be doing that. It'll be about a 30-minute video, and I'm going to put you on my chest so we got a good smooth picture, and we'll go along. So here we go to put you on. There we go. Let's see here. Strap you on and let me see what kind of picture I'm getting. I want to get plenty of sky. The way that I'm taking this picture, the video, I can't see what I'm getting. I wish I could. Maybe I'll have to get another phone so I can get on and see what I'm getting. So anyway, we'll get started. We're at a municipal complex that has a new $12 million swimming pool that opened up on Memorial Day. And then here is the golf course. Been here quite a while. This is a municipal complex, a municipal pool. So it's all open to the public. And over just past the golf carts there, quite a few, about 200 yards, is the tennis courts. So we've got a full tennis court, swim complex, and golf course. Norman has some very good infrastructure. So I'm just walking us down here so I can get a straight shot, getting on the bicycle and taking off. Oops. Looks like we've got Budweiser in the way here. The Cargo Budweiser. I think there was a game where I was sitting down putting my gear together and they were organizing something, so must be something coming up for this weekend, probably starting tomorrow. Because tomorrow is Friday. This is Thursday, July the 5th. The lady at that runs our senior center dining room thought it was Monday. So I said, well, tomorrow will be Tuesday and then we have a weekend. She said, what? And I said, yeah, this is Thursday. Okay. So we're going to take a little ride past the changing rooms and offices and snack bar for the swim pool. And here's what it's called. Westwood Family Aquatic Center. Brand new building. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. There we go. I'm going to go a route that I've gone several times before where the sound hasn't worked right. If the sound drops, I'll find out when I watch the rerun. And I don't know, it seems like when I'm using my GoPro, the sound drops after about 5 minutes. GoPro says that my GoPro Session 5, Hero 5, will work with Periscope. Periscope says it won't work with it. Well, I'm having problems with it, but it does. it does connect for video, and I have video all the way through, beautiful video, and I have sound audio for 5 minutes. I don't know what's going on. I'm hoping to figure it out. I sent a tweet to GoPro, but it was only in a comment with somebody else. So probably tonight I should send an original tweet to them so I can tell them what Periscope said and what they say. They say it works with Periscope. And it was a software change that happened this year. And my Hero 5 is brand new. That is our airport. That's Westheimer Field. It was a Navy base, a Navy training place back in World War II. We had Navy barracks at the University of Oklahoma campus. Had a golf course down there that you can still see the grass that was on the greens. It's beautiful grass. The military, when they do things for recreation, do them in a really good way. We have a controlled tower airport. We're a city of 120,000. We're south of Oklahoma City, 20 miles. Makes it a little difficult getting to the city when we don't have buses that run in a convenient schedule. City buses, they only run 5 days a week, so anything that happens on the weekend, we have a hard time getting to if you don't have a car. And I sold Volkswagens for 10 years before I retired, and as soon as I retired, because I wanted to quit work really bad. I'm not like a lot of other old people. When you work at low-level jobs, like I was a salesman, you're ready to get away from them. Treated like shit. Pushed around. Fellow workers fuck you over. It's not a good world out here. So as soon as I could retire, I got that guaranteed annual income called Social Security. When I got it 14 years ago, I was only getting about $900 a month or a little less, and so I qualified for all the extra help and things like that, and my income has gotten up to be a little over $1,300, and I get along just fine on it. My rent's only $300, so I have a good retirement as it is right now. I just hope medical things don't come along and kick me in the ass, which they will eventually. So, yeah, I worked as a car salesman. I had a good time, I thought, but mostly I hated it. And, you know, we're working in a rigged game, especially us that are on the bottom, 99%. And the bottom of the 99%, we're really working on a rigged game. So I retired just like a bunch of others do, as quick as I could. If you're making comments and I see them when I'm walking, when I'm reviewing the video, I'll respond to you. If you have a Twitter page, and I can send you a tweet. So I've got the audible bit of Yanis Varoufakis, who was the finance minister of Greece that negotiated with the Eurogroup, who negotiated with him in bad faith. Incredible how they treated him. And when his prime minister sold him out, actually sold out the Greek people, because the Greeks had a referendum whether to accept what the Eurogroup had offered them or not. The no vote to not accept it was 62%. And then Alexis, the prime minister of Greece, accepted it. He reversed it. He reversed the vote, the wishes of the people. They were ready to do whatever it took to get away from the euro. But now they're stuck with it. They're stuck with loan agreements that they can't pay. So, okay, now we're on a quieter street. Get past these people. Hello. So we're going to come up to the public housing for Norman. We have one public housing building that was built in 1982. Nice big apartments. I've talked to some people that have lived there, and I knew one of them at the senior center, and she said it was fine. So maybe I will go there when I get to where I need kind of assisted living and lose my good rent that I've got. So, or I get medical bills that I can't pay. And if you live in public housing, they allow you to deduct your medical bills from your rent. So instead of paying Peter, you pay Paul. And everybody's happy, even Peter. And so we have a pretty good Social Security system here in the United States, folks. And the Republicans are doing every goddamn thing they can to destroy it. And the Democrats are helping them. That Bill Clinton helped destroy the unions, helped destroy and Hillary didn't get elected for a good reason. And you know what? The Democrats not going to get elected again. And we've got this asshole in there who either doesn't know history or doesn't know economics, is unschooled, or he's a liar and knows what he's doing. But what he's doing is really wrong. The trade wars, wrong. I've got a feeling that he wants to cut out Amtrak. That's my way of being transported around the United States. On Amtrak, we've got an Amtrak station 2 blocks from my house. I can go north or south, east or west. And these austerity people think that running a government is like running a household. No, it's not. You know a household that owns its own bank? Tell me one. There's no such thing. A country that owns its own bank and has its own currency cannot run out of money. It can always print the money that it's needed for anything that it wants to do. Now there's a group called Modern Monetary Theory that subscribes to that, but they do it in such a way that it keeps bankers in control of money creation. I belong to a group called the American Monetary Institute, and we believe that money can be created by the government without borrowing it, without the bankers being in charge. In fact, that's what it says in our Constitution. But that power in the Constitution got delegated when Hamilton and George Washington, the land speculator, yeah, he was president, but mainly he was a land speculator, when George Washington and Hamilton conspired to take the power of the people to create their money through Congress and give it to a group that would become known as bankers. There were no bankers in the colonies. They didn't have banks. They created their own money. The Continentals, and they sold bonds and raised money for the war that way. And Hamilton and his group of people, Hamilton and George Washington's group of people, knew that Congress was going to make whole the securities that the colonies had sold. The securities had become worthless. They had become worth nothing. So they knew, this group of people knew that, and that was Hamilton's and George Washington's friends, knew that the Congress was going to purchase back those securities at face value. And this group went out, talked to the merchants and the workmen and the farmers and the people, the honest, hard-working people, gave them pennies for their what they thought was worthless securities, and they used those securities to fund the first Bank of the United States. This country's financial system was founded in fraud. No wonder it's continued in fraud. It has no way to get out unless we get it out of its fraudulent ways by making them honest people. They create, let's see, I think I can get across here. Yeah. They create the money that they loan out of thin air. When you go in to get a loan for a car, they'll say, Mr. Smith, I looked at your credit report here. It looks like you're doing fine. We'll give you a loan for that new car. I say, yeah, I think you said you wanted $20,000. Yeah, okay. So you need to sign a few papers here, and so the banker turns around to his computer and fills out the forms and gets them ready, and the man signs them, and then the banker turns back around to the computer and hits a few keys, and he turns back around, says, "Mr. Smith, pull out your phone, look at your bank account. You'll see that $20,000 is there. You're going to be able to get that car you want." And of course, Mr. Jones is happy. And then the banker asks Mr. Jones or Mr. Smith, whoever. He says, "You do have a job, don't you?" There's the trick. You've just become a wage slave. You have to have a job. You've got to pay the banker. And you want to know what's going to happen if you don't pay him? You lose your car. You still owe the loan. And if you're a farmer and you've used that money to plant a crop and buy the equipment that you need, and you can't pay, you lose your whole damn farm and house and everything, because you've signed over everything to him. And you know where that banker got that money? It wasn't any money that he owned. It was money he created. We're going to take that power away. There's a lot of problems with the way that our money is created now, and it's because the money is created for things that the bankers and their friends like and want to do, and that's not necessarily the things that you need or your children need. It's what they want. Have you ever voted for a banker? No. Okay, that building that we saw back there was the new public library for Norman. We're getting an 80,000 square foot building. Forget what it costs, but all that money is financed. We're going to be paying bankers for a long time for that building. And guess who was there the night that building was proposed? Two finance guys with their briefcases and their suits. Hi there. So let's see what I got here. Let's see if I can go into the park. This is Norman's Central Park. Remember, this is nothing, well, it is like Central Park for New York City, except New York City's got 12 to 13 million people right there in the metropolitan area. We've got 120,000. So we've got an appropriately sized park. And right straight ahead of me is the amphitheater that was built during the Franklin administration, during the Depression, and it's still here serving our needs. It's a beautiful amphitheater. So we'll just go into the park here just a little ways. Looks like some kids over there, some homeless people. Got a basketball court ahead of us on the other side of the children's playground. Stays busy all the time. I'm going to do this right here. We'll go through this pavilion. I won a bicycle right here a year ago at our bike to work day. Pulled out my ticket and the guy started reading the numbers, and I thought, well, fuck, I'm going to win this thing. And sure enough, I had the ticket. It was a beautiful bike, specialized. A mountain bike, 27-inch wheels. Hi there. people going home. Now, okay, straight ahead of me is the some city complex buildings and the library that we have now, where they've tried to get us to put our new senior center in the library and remodel it, and we're thinking that we want to have a standalone library, our senior center, and we're pushing real hard for it. And it's going to be a few months before we know if we're going to get the money. Like I said, if we did the NEAT Act, which is the American Monetary Institute's legislation, there we go. We could build that library without borrowing the money, or in the senior center without borrowing the money or taxing anybody for it. The only limitation would be if we had the resources and the ability to do it without causing inflation. This would be a real revolution. We could do guaranteed annual income for everybody. And we could get the guaranteed annual income up from just basic income to middle class income. And that way, if your work situation wasn't good, you could say, fuck it, and I am going fishing, boss. Or I'm going to form a band and be the next Beatles, or Elvis, or Buddy Holly. And we're going to teach people how to love each other. You know what the first use for money was? It was to show expressions of love. Polished stones, feathers, things like that, coins that were polished pieces of whatever that people used to give to others to show them that they loved them. As John Lennon said, all it takes is love. And he was an asshole. I've become really interested in the Beatles lately. He was a fucking asshole at times. Could be sarcastic, could be mean, but it was about love. I got a little video of him posted on my Twitter page, and about when they were forming the band. Oh, look at there. The Montgomery has mowed the yard. Look at there. This is our house we live in. There's 6 apartments here. And Montgomery has mowed the yard. It's beautiful. He said he was. So, here we go. Anyway, I got a little video of posted on my Facebook and Twitter page. Hi there. Where Paul is 19. No, Paul is 15 and John is 19. And John's singing a song to Paul saying, "You're my little girl." And Paul just sat there and watched him. So those boys were Liverpool boys. Raised up kind of, John's raising up was a middle class family. So I imagine they were a whole lot like the neighborhood that I grew up in. So, anyway, here we go. The yard is done. And there's the table we sit and visit at. You're invited to come here. So, take care, Periscopers. I will see you soon. Here, let me show you who has been talking. Wait a minute. I think I can do it this way. And it says tap to turn the camera around. There I am. So, I am a 76-year-old guy living on Social Security and having a damn good time. Although I think I got a cancer thing that's come up on my nose. We're going to have to take care of that. I think I'll call the doc tomorrow. Well, bye now. Take care. And here